picked up by somebody, like that somebody will give me that chance to take me on.
And somebody takes you on for your music and not necessarily your looks. I mean, because you are a very,
right.
Attractive lady, but at the end of the day, it's about your music.
Yeah, right.
So, when did you decide, that you wanted to pursue a music career? Is it just because of your influences of your family, or?
Well, I was 8 years old, and just something told me, like, I want to play music. I all of a sudden, overnight, I just got so wrapped up into music. I don't even know how it even began. And for 2 years, I bugged my mother to get me a little guitar. And when I was 10 years old, I just turned. My mom got me a little tiny acoustic guitar. It was like $80, but it's at a guitar store. And I got that, and I was just thrilled to death. I mean, I was jamming on that every single day for hours and hours. Didn't know what I was playing, but I started off playing by ear, just like how my great-grandfather did, and I was picking up on things. Later on, I did get guitar lessons for about a couple of years, and then ever since then, I have just grown so far in love with my music. It's just grown every single day, and I just want to keep moving forward with that.
And what if you were to classify yourself as a certain, style, like rock, metal, punk, grunge? I mean, what would you classify your music as, and why?
I believe mine's that normal rock sound. It has the rock sound in it. There's a lot of ballady songs in there, kind of like Alice in Chains does. And I also like that old classical, like Mozart, Beethoven, like the symphony stuff in with my music, so it's almost like a classical and rock. So I kind of got all of that flowing into my music.
Nice. So, what styles? Because you said you're a rhythm guitarist as well, which we know. What songs did you practice when you first, started playing guitar to create your unique sound?
I played pretty much anything from like 80s rock. I even played some Johnny Cash just to start getting chord progressions down and really just studying everything about guitar. And it went from like 80s rock to 90s to modern, and it's just been going on from there.
And, if you could meet anybody, out there, alive today, who would you want to be, on tour with?
I've been really would like to meet Joan Jett. I think she was a great woman figure back in the 80s who struggled with her music because of being a woman, being in the rock industry. It's a little bit harder for women to get recognized, and she just stick with her guns, and she pushed forward, and she made it. And I would just really like to thank her for that, because that kind of opens the door for other female artists to kind of get their foot in the door.
Okay, and would you say that it is easier nowadays for a female, vocalist to, play out where, years ago it would have been a lot harder because there just was less?
I still struggle with that. Sometimes I don't get taken seriously, or I just get forgotten about, but I keep pushing forward, and I don't think it's bad as it was way back then, because, it was completely dominated by males, and males didn't want females in there, but I think it's kind of now loosened up a little bit more, and it's still a little bit of a struggle, which I think that happens with every musician, but I'm still hanging in there.
Now, do you think it has been an advantage as far as being out in Illinois versus a different area of the United States?
The Illinois area is kind of more of a metal scene. They really don't play rock scene, so I've been really trying to get anywhere I possibly can to get out of Central Illinois and work my way to Chicago, St. Louis, out to Iowa, like New York, Florida, California, everywhere, and like Minnesota and stuff, to where there's rock out there where people, that's their scene. They like the rock scene, and I know I could probably gain more fans and make it more that way instead of being stuck here in Central Illinois.
Ah, you're in Central Illinois. Okay, because I figured because you got Chicago right there. It might be a bit easier for you. But then again, what is Chicago now? What kind of music are they playing now? I mean, that's what it comes down to.
Yeah, and like I've tried to get up there. I mean, like the House of Blues, they play pretty much anything, but you got to have like a well-known name or a booking agency to book you into that place, or else you're paying money in order to get on stage with lights on you, which that kind of sucks. But I guess they're just paying for the exposure. But I think they play more indie rock, if I'm not mistaken. And I think you have to be well known around the area in order to get into most of the places.
All right, so what is the biggest show you've done till date? Back in 12 when you did the Battle of the Bands, or out in Washington as you mentioned, or where's the best show as far as like got the best response from the fans so far, Ben?
Well, I did that benefit show. It was supposed to be with Warrant, and I got to meet Diana Metzler, the woman with the golden ears who signed Creed, Evanescence, and Seether. And she took an interest in my band. I still keep in contact with her to this day. She's been helping my band time to time. She's been so impressed by my band. She's been taking albums. She's done things for me, which, I appreciate every bit that she's ever done. And I thank her for that. And it's an amazing journey with her. And I'm just, been praying that, something comes out of this.
And, I mean, are you currently, working, just trying to get shows lined up, or are you coming out with new stuff, or you got a new album coming up, or what's behind the scenes? We're
kind of working both right now. We're trying to get more shows until a booking agency picks us up, takes us on seriously, and books us shows for the first album. And I've already got a full new album ready to go to record. My band and I have been practicing these songs and getting them ready for the studio. So hopefully, I'm hoping in the next couple of years or in a year or so that we can get a second album out.
Nice. And have you tried pitching your music out to the local music scene out there, the FM radio stations and everything?
Yes, I have. I'm on 105.7 The X Rocks. They play me on local anesthetic, and I've been told by, a few people that it's been played on the mainstream side of things, and 99.9. There's been a couple of radio stations pick me up here, and a lot of internet radio stations have really picked me up because they've been, falling more and more in love with my music, and I'm like, well, let me send this music off to this radio station. And, it's been really spreading, which I think that's really cool.
And what have the fans been, saying about your music as far as, are they telling you it touched their lives, or do you have a story you could share?
I just get told, by fans and stuff that come up to me how much they like my music. They got to have this CD. Your sound's so unique and different, and it just touches. I guess it touches every fan in a different way, and they can see the story that I'm laying out before them in each song. This song touches me. It sounds like a love song, and I've went through that, what you've went through, and each song touches them in a different way. So I think that's really cool.
So do you and your band, Miss Bean, do you all create your as far as your own lyrics? Is it coming straight from y'all, or is it coming from other people submitting stuff to you, or how does that work? And if it is it based on experiences, or is it you just felt like writing about a time?
Well, when I write my music, it kind of might be something that's happened in my life, in the past or something, or I go out and I'm in a show or something happens at that show. I write a song about it. And so all of our music comes directly from my band. I've had a few songwriters get a hold of me in the past to, record their music and stuff, but then I don't hear from them ever back again. but it's been strictly just the band that writes the music.
Okay, and could you say that, outlets out there, like you mentioned the internet radio, like YouTube and, the video outlets are really beneficial to an artist nowadays?
Yes, I believe so too. It helps more exposure out there and gives the fan knowing what this band looks like live.
That is really, really cool. So, when you're not doing music, what could people see Ashley Bean doing?
Well, I'm just kind of small town girl right now, still working, trying to pursue my music, trying to get anywhere I possibly can with it. And, I work at a small town gas station, helping cleaning and stuff and trying to make it as well in the music, pushing every way I can. I went to school, to college and stuff. And so it's just been a real struggle for me so far, and I've just been hanging in there.
Okay, and when you went to college, what were you studying?
Music. I was in there studying music and arts, like, drawing and stuff, figure, painting.
Okay, and who could you see as, your top, 5 bands, that really touched your life and really, helped, mold your style into what it currently is today?
Yeah. Yeah, it's just been a really crazy journey for me. I was just talking with my boyfriend yesterday about some things, and he's just been supporting me all the way with some things. It's just been really crazy. I've been so stressful, but I guess that's the way the music industry really is.
Okay, and what could you tell somebody that, is just starting out, about how hard it is, and, what advice could you give them that, it will be okay and, to continue on focusing their dreams? Like, what should they, look forward to, and what do they need to do?
Like, keep pushing forward. Don't lose your confidence and stuff. I know it'll be, stressful on the way. There's sometimes you just want to give up because you don't think you're going to get anywhere. You're stuck at a dead end. But, there's opportunities that are coming that will come out of that, and you just, take that opportunity and you run with it and see where it leads you.
All right, and if you could name, now, who would your top 5 bands be today?
Well, I like Evanescence, I like Joan Jett, Alice in Chains, Apocalyptica, trying to think of any other bands. Avenged Sevenfold, I like them as well.
Okay, and then you mentioned that you would like to tour with somebody as far as, tour around the world and whatnot. If you could, join any, tour, that's currently out there, which one would you want to be a part of?
Oh, gosh, I think there's a couple of tours. There's, Warped Tour, Lollapalooza, there's, Woodstock. I really like the big shows and stuff because I just love that atmosphere of just looking at fans and stuff. I love that feeling. And so the bigger the tour is, I love that. So that's really what I really hope for.
Okay, and how did your band originally, get together? How did you all meet?
I met my drummer because he works at Guitar Center as a manager in the drum section. He became my drummer. Went in, asked him one day, said, "Yeah, I'll be your drummer." And my aunt, who is the bass player / keyboardist, and she helps with me with my background vocals, I asked her one day, are you ready to go out to play shows with me? And she says, "Yes, I am. I wanna do this with you and stand beside you." And she started becoming a lead guitarist because our one lead guitarist at the time was quitting and wanted to go do his own thing. So we were working and trying to find a newer guitarist, and I finally found Mark, and he has just been amazing ever since and just been standing by us.
And do you feel that your band is complete, or would you add, another component you know, to the band? And where could you see, or what direction could you